Hello! Welcome to Finance News Weekly. Let's dive into this week's market action.
This week's markets saw a critical turning point in monetary policy and a clear divergence in AI investment outcomes. President Trump nominated Kevin Warsh as the next Fed chair, triggering the largest precious metals crash in modern history. In tech, Meta and Microsoft delivered starkly contrasting market reactions to their AI spending plans. Today, we'll cover 24 major stories, spanning U.S. and Japanese equities, monetary policy, individual stocks, and commodities.
Let's start with this week's biggest shock. Gold and silver experienced their worst crash in modern history. Silver futures plunged 31.4%, settling at $78.53, the worst day since March 1980. Gold crashed over 12%, falling below $5,000 after touching $5,600 earlier in the session. This represents the largest single-day drop since the early 1980s.
The trigger for this crash was President Trump's nomination of former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh as the next Fed chair. Warsh is known for his inflation-fighting stance, and markets anticipated a stronger dollar policy. This created major headwinds for dollar-denominated precious metals. Jerome Powell's term expires in May 2026, but Republican Senator Thomas Tillis has indicated opposition, creating uncertainty about Senate confirmation.
The Federal Reserve held its policy rate at 3.5 to 3.75% at its January 2026 meeting, following 3 consecutive rate cuts in late 2025. Goldman Sachs predicts 2 more cuts in 2026, bringing the final rate to 3.0 to 3.25%. JP Morgan, however, expects rates to remain on hold. Market views are divided.
Meanwhile, the Bank of Japan maintained its short-term rate at 0.75%, the highest level since September 1995. Governor Kazuo Ueda stated that rates could rise further if economic and price forecasts materialize. The BOJ has already implemented 2 rate hikes in 2025. Japan's monetary tightening stance is set to continue.
In currency markets, the yen has surged. The yen rose approximately 4% over the past 3 trading days, heightening speculation about joint U.S.-Japan currency intervention. Finance Minister Kato stated that recent yen movements do not reflect fundamentals at all, warning of appropriate measures against excessive volatility.
Moving to the technology sector, the software industry was shaken to its core. The iShares Expanded Tech Software Sector ETF, ticker IGV, fell approximately 22% from its recent high, pushing the software industry into bear market territory. ServiceNow plunged 10% despite beating fourth-quarter earnings estimates. Investors are concerned that AI competitors and automation tools could erode demand for traditional software.
Microsoft also received a harsh market reaction. The stock plunged 12%, leading the software industry sell-off. Adjusted EPS was $4.14, beating the expected $3.92, and revenue reached $81.27 billion. But capital expenditures surged to $37.5 billion from $22.6 billion year over year. Azure growth decelerated to 39%, and ongoing AI capacity constraints became a key investor concern.
In contrast, Meta Platforms surprised markets positively. The stock surged approximately 10%. Fourth-quarter EPS was $8.88, and revenue was $59.9 billion, significantly beating expectations of $8.16 and $58.4 billion, respectively. First-quarter revenue guidance of $53.5 to $56.5 billion exceeded analyst expectations of $51.41 billion. 2026 capital expenditures are expected at $115 to $135 billion, nearly double 2025's $72.2 billion. Despite similar AI investments, Meta earned market confidence.
Apple also delivered stellar earnings. Rebounding sharply in China, the company achieved its first quarter exceeding $25 billion since late 2021, driven by iPhone 17 demand. Greater China revenue was $25.5 billion, up 38% year-over-year, exceeding expectations by approximately $4.7 billion. CEO Tim Cook commented that iPhone achieved its best quarter ever, driven by unprecedented demand.
SoftBank Group is also making a major move. The company is considering an additional investment of up to $30 billion in OpenAI. This investment is part of OpenAI's fundraising round that could raise up to $100 billion, valuing the company at approximately $830 billion. SoftBank completed a $41 billion investment in December, acquiring an 11% stake. If the $30 billion materializes, total commitments would exceed $70 billion. CEO Masayoshi Son's all-in strategy is crystal clear.
Google is also notable. Alphabet stock reached an all-time high of $304 following the launch of its latest AI model, Gemini 3. The stock has risen approximately 70% over the past 12 months, up 60.5% year-to-date, with market capitalization approaching $3.9 trillion. D.A. Davidson analysts rated Gemini 3 as state-of-the-art, and Berkshire Hathaway's acquisition of $4.3 billion in shares further strengthened investor confidence.
Moving to Japanese stocks, Advantest reported record quarterly sales, and the stock surged as much as 14% on accelerating AI-driven tester demand. Operating profit for October through December rose 64% year-over-year to 113.6 billion yen. The company raised its full-year operating profit forecast by 21.4% to 454 billion yen. Test system business revenue surged 51.1% to 723.1 billion yen. Advantest maintains over 50% market share in automatic test equipment.
The Nikkei 225 rose 125 points, or 0.23% on Thursday, closing at 53,483. However, the rapid yen appreciation is weighing on markets. Export-oriented stocks led losses, with Toyota Motor down 3.2%, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries down 2.6%, and Sony Group down 2.5%. Meanwhile, Kioxia Holdings hit all-time highs amid a global memory chip rally.
The semiconductor sector also has positive news. China approved NVIDIA's H200 chip sales, allowing sales to ByteDance, Alibaba, and Tencent. Semiconductor stocks rose Wednesday, bolstered by strong earnings from ASML and SK Hynix. SK Hynix shares rose over 5% after reporting record full-year 2025 profits. TSMC also exceeded earnings expectations, reporting 35% quarter-over-quarter profit growth.
Tesla delivered mixed results. Fourth quarter adjusted EPS was 50 cents, meeting the expected 45 cents, and operating profit of $1.41 billion beat the expected $1.32 billion. However, revenue of $24.9 billion missed the expected $25.1 billion, down 2.4% year-over-year. Full year 2025 revenue declined 3%, marking the company's first annual revenue decline. Gross margin of 20.1% exceeded the expected 17.1%. Optimus robots are scheduled to begin production by year-end.
Let's quickly cover other notable stocks. SAP's fourth quarter cloud contract backlog growth fell short of expectations, sending shares down 15.2%. Intel is down 12%, with growth constrained by supply limitations. Meanwhile, Barron's released its top 10 stocks for 2026, including Comcast, ExxonMobil, and Bristol-Myers Squibb. Overall, the S&P 500 posted slight gains in January 2026, finishing the month positive despite Friday's losses.
Finally, commodities. In contrast to the gold and silver crash, the dollar surged following the Kevin Warsh nomination, posting its best day since July. Commodity stocks and big tech declines weighed on the S&P 500, but the index is on track for its best month since October.
Let's summarize this week's markets. This week marked a turning point in monetary policy and a clear split in AI investment outcomes. Kevin Warsh's nomination as the next Fed chair and the resulting historic gold and silver crash signal potential changes in the financial environment for late 2026. In the technology sector, Meta and Microsoft's contrasting market reactions highlighted differing expectations for AI investment monetization. In semiconductors, Advantest, TSMC, and SK Hynix maintained strength, demonstrating sustained AI demand. In Japanese markets, yen strength pressured export stocks, while the BOJ's rate hold and additional rate hike signals drew attention.
Here are next week's key points. Investors should first watch central bank policy developments. Warsh's Senate confirmation process and the BOJ's traditional rate hike timing are critical. Next, watch AI investment profitability. Will other tech companies follow the path Meta demonstrated? Finally, currency volatility. Will the yen strength trend continue, and will US-Japan authorities intervene? This directly impacts export company earnings.
That's all for today's Finance News Weekly. We covered 24 major stories. Like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest investment news. See you next week. Happy investing!